Well, this week on BNN Bloomberg, we've been exploring the future of so many industries, including where the banking industry goes from here. And while COVID may have sped up change for some businesses, we do know that change is constant in every industry. And banking is a great example of that, and CIBC is a good example of that. The company ending its fiscal year with a profitable quarter. Its CEO, Victor Dodig, recently describing 2020 as a year of continued transformation for the business. And Victor Dodig joins us now to talk about all of it. Victor, welcome back to BNN Bloomberg. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, John. It's good to be here.
And if I had to ask you to describe what this year has been like from where you sit, what would you say?
Well, at the very beginning of the pandemic, I described it for our bank as a moment of truth. A moment of truth where you come through for your employees, your team members, where you come through for your clients, where you come through for your communities, and when you come through for your shareholders. So it's been a real whirlwind, but I'm really proud of what our bank has achieved, how we've adapted to a very fluid environment, and we've delivered to all our stakeholders.
I remember when you talked about that moment of truth for all of your employees and dealing with customers. And I mean, with a company your size, there are customers at the bank branch, there are people calling, there are people online, there are businesses big and small that are navigating these unprecedented challenges. Are there stories that stand out as you think back on the year on how your team was navigating any of those situations?
John, there are many stories, and it's rooted in our purpose. We're a purpose-driven culture that is focused on making our clients' ambitions a reality, even during difficult times. And I'd say there's a couple of things that were those highlights for us. One is our crisis management team came together to make sure that our team members that had to serve clients in our banking centers or had to handle currency or manage our data centers were well protected so that they felt safe, while moving over 2/3 of our team home so that we can work remotely. Then we had 500,000 of our clients deferred for credit, whether it was a mortgage, a credit card, or a commercial bank, or drawing on a corporate loan and additional resources that they needed to manage through this pandemic, both to play defense and offense. And also the charitable giving, that community-mindedness that we have at CIBC. I want to highlight three things. The Run for the Cure, which is a big national program for us that we've been doing for almost a quarter century. We did it virtually this year. We raised over $2 million. Last week, we had Miracle Day, last Wednesday. And we all came together, our businesses, our colleagues, and our clients, and we raised over $5.6 million. And now we're in the midst of the United Way campaign. So there are highlights across the board, but this whole purpose-driven culture that we've built has really come through for us during this pandemic.
Well, it highlights the need not just for, I suppose, you to lead, but to have a culture of leadership, because we're talking about upwards of 44,000 employees at the business. So given what you have in place, how do you think about 2021, a year where I don't think we should be surprised if we're trying to get COVID under control, but it is still something that we're navigating, and this idea of restrictions or lockdowns could be a reality in the new year as well?
Well, look, we're still working through the pandemic, and winter's going to be tough. I think we all recognize that, but there's lots of good reasons to feel encouraged. The economic conditions for growth will start emerging more constructively as we head into the spring. Low interest rates, government stimulus, and of course a vaccine. And we presume it'll be effective. We presume it'll be rolled out on government timelines. And we believe that the economy will start showing some growth. So we're very much focused on working with our clients, working through this pandemic, and making sure that we can achieve growth and help them grow and help them emerge from this pandemic stronger.
Victor, you're somebody who started out as a bank teller. You're known as someone who recognizes faces and names well. This is all part of relationship building. But the other thing that you've talked a lot about this year and on your conference call is the investments in technology. Technology is also pretty good at identifying what a customer needs. What has really stood out for you this year on that front, balancing the need to keep betting on tech, but also to maintain those relationships the old-fashioned way?
Thanks, John. I think both things are important. We've been building this well before the pandemic, a bank that we call a relationship-oriented bank for the modern world. And what does that mean? It means building those relationships and having a high-touch aspect to banking, because clients still do want to interact with humans to solve their financial affairs. Whether you're an individual, a small business, or a large company, we're there for you and our people are there for you. The second thing is the high-tech aspect. And we try and get that high-touch and high-tech aspect in balance, depending on what our clients' needs are. Some of them want to interact with us only directly through technology. And we've been investing in our mobile banking platform, and we've been recognized by several independent agencies as having a leading mobile banking platform. We also recognize we're in a competitive market, so we need to continue to invest in that platform so that our clients are getting the functionality that they need. Because one thing that's shown through in this pandemic is clients want that technology and want to bank anywhere, anytime. But at the same time, the relationship factor matters. And one of the things that we've really noticed at CIBC is our client experience scores have hit a multi-decade high. There is more work to do, but it shows that our strategy is working. Focused on our clients, on our relationships, and delivering technology to them when and when they want it.
Let's talk about one customer issue that seems to come up, not CIBC, but more broadly speaking, the amount of debt that Canadians are taking on these days. And I sometimes think of the banks as the bartenders, because we might knock on the door and ask for a little more, and there is a certain point when maybe they're supposed to responsibly say, you've had too much. How do you feel about the situation we're in right now when it comes to the debt that the average Canadian is holding?
Look, when we talk about a client's financial affairs, we always look at both sides of the balance sheet. The fact is that interest rates are low, that clients are feeling more buoyant in terms of borrowing, but we bring them back to what we're trying to achieve for them. What does their journey look like in their financial affairs? We recently launched CIBC Goal Planner, which is really a focus to make sure that our clients are saving and borrowing within their means. And that is going to be really important as we emerge from the pandemic. So I don't have any concerns at the moment. We're working with clients. Clients are making the right decisions. In fact, there's a tremendous amount of liquidity in the system as well. And that is something that's quite notable across the consumer sector in particular, where credit card outstanding balances have dropped as consumers have been saving, and there hasn't really been the outlets to spend either. So we're working with them on both sides of the balance sheet. It's a journey. We'll always do the responsible thing.
You mentioned that plan to get employees in place, in some cases working from home. You've been talking a lot about this because there had been a plan for a while really to think differently about your whole office footprint. That's basically behind the move to CIBC Square. How are you thinking about that issue as you start to think about, the office building experience, what it means to CIBC going forward?
There are a couple of things that I'd say there. One is the first priority for us as the bank is to make sure that our employees are working in a safe fashion. For those that have to be at the very front lines, making sure that they're well protected. And for those at home, keep them at home until such time that we feel it's safe to come back to the downtown core centers that we're operating from. When it comes to our office footprint, CIBC Square is the most modern office building that there'll be in Canada. The most modern ventilation, the most agile space that'll allow for collaboration, that'll allow for distancing. So, we're going to go to a model where remote work will play a bigger role in terms of what many of our employees will be experiencing, but there'll also be collaboration, and we'll manage it in a way where they stay safe and healthy. At the same time, we've been investing in mobile technology for our relationship managers so they can go to our clients when they need them. They can get more of their documentation done in an electronic fashion, and effectively putting more of the technology in the hands of our relationship managers. So it's never a simple answer, but we're pleased with CIBC Square and how it's progressing in terms of the first tower. We're pleased with our remote technology and how it's working, and we will manage this to make sure that our team members are always healthy and safe in terms of their ability to deliver for our clients.